Hey guys, this is Manshark Sub LPs. I'm Sub, this is Europa Universalis IV, and this is episode 8 of the AI's playthrough. So let's get going. Not too much has changed since the end of last episode because, well, this is exactly where it's left off. So let's just have a quick resketch. Oh, it looks like Great Britain is expanding down into Serenos. That's cool. Build up your power, guys. Shame about Castile. You poor little bastards. That being said, you still have an explorer. Oh, well, you know, a colonist. If I were them, I would be taking some of this land, this sweet, sweet land. I mean, I don't think they're going to have any they have one military unit. Seriously, just start colonizing these places. It's very rare that you will get attacked there, and you need the land really, really a lot. You're just going to get munched when somebody else realizes that you still exist. I'm surprised Brabant is doing colonization, to be honest. Yeah, well, they took the ideas. Good on them. Anyway, back to Europe. How are the wars going, France? Averagely. I know they lead a personal union with Grodno. I'll integrate that fairly soon. Where is it? No, seriously, where is it? Ah, right there. Yeah, they'll totally integrate that. No harm. Except one of them is kind of Protestant-y. Always an issue. Always an issue. Right, so this episode should go up on Sunday, which is the day after the Shadowrun game. So I can spoil quite freely now because the players will have already played it. And, well, it may not have gone to plan, but the general theme is that in getting out of the desert, the players ran into a lady. Well, they were helped out of the desert by a lady named Cat, short for Catastrophe. That's her Shadowrun call sign, of course. And she contacts them at the start of their next mission and says, "Hey guys, you know," she gives them the mission basically, or she doesn't give them the mission. She gives them the contact for the mission. Says, "Hey guys, you know, I told you that I'd get you some work, or I'd, you know, think of you if work came up. Here's some work that has come up. This guy, he's one of my boss's he's one of my boss's mates, or, you know, colleagues or whatever, or acquaintances. He needs somebody to provide security for his daughter. Like, you know, nice and easy. It looks like Siberiot is coming down a bit. Should be a bit easier to pronounce. I mean, it's basically Cypriot, but extended. Anyway, looks like they're hitting up Jerusalem for reasons. And Cilicia. And Jerusalem is just defending against them. And Arabia, from the looks of it. Yep. Guess Jerusalem's going to get a little bit hosed there. Anyway, yeah, so this guy lives on this really opulent estate, and he needs somebody to provide security for his daughter. So they'll go to the, you know, well, basically what'll happen is they'll go to the estate and all this sort of stuff and, you know, try and talk to him. It's going to be a bit of a rush job in that he needs security now for his daughter, but I'm not going to be too hard on them for that because, well, all the other two sessions that they've had have been rush jobs. There's been a degree of, you must go now, you can't do proper prep. Which isn't great for Shadowrunners, because Shadowrunning is all about prep work. So yeah, they're going to have a little bit of prep in that they know The guy has, like, he needs security for his daughter. He lives out of his opulent mansion. You know, that sort of thing. No details are provided at that point apart, but you will be security. You are going to be the defenders in this. So set yourselves up for some sort of defensive sort of thing. That should enable them to do some prep work. They won't have a long time. They'll have like a few hours to get shit together. So this is a real big problem with, for example, the hacker Rigger, because as I previously mentioned, he didn't bring any drones along, and that's fine, as I said back then. But the express sort of character concept he's going with is that he obtains drones and such on an as-needs basis. He basically has the idea, like his character has the idea that the character is a great actor or director, and so he needs to acquire new actors for every play where the players for Shadowrun. And so he doesn't have any drones, which are the actors, because he's going to go and get them in prep for the run. Now, the problem there, as I reach behind me for the Shadowrun book, is that a drone, so a single drone, not weaponized, nothing like that, but let's say a decent one of the rotor drones, that, you know, like a little hover drone sort of thing, an MCT Nissan rotor drone, that's worth $2,000, or 2,000 yuan is for game currency, and it's got an availability of 6. So let's just work out exactly what's required in that. So to find something with an availability of 6, you need to make what's called an extended test, which is basically you keep rolling the test until you get it, but each test you roll has a particular interval. So for a 2,000 yuan good, each interval is 2 days. So each time you roll, it's taken you 2 days to be able to make that roll. And you can keep rolling as much as you want. So it's a negotiation plus charisma test. Nobody's really that good at that. You know, but whatever. But they need, because it's availability 6, they need 6 successes. And a success is a 5 or a 6 on a 6-sided die. So they basically need to roll, if we go by averages, 18 dice over the course of, you know, however many rolls. Alternatively, they can speed it up if they want to spend more. You can spend an additional, for this one, an additional $500 will get you an additional dice on the test, up to a maximum of 10 dice, extra dice. So that's fine, you can do that, but the point is it's going to take you at least 2 days. And if somebody comes at you and says, hey, the run's in like 6 hours or the run's in a day, you don't have that 2 days. You could probably find stuff which is worth less than 1,000 yuan, but if you need to find bigger things, like drones, it might take you a week. Jeez, good on you, Great Britain. You're doing what I wanted you to do. Same with you, Portugal. Good lads. But yeah, it might take you a week to find a drone. And, you know, then you've got to buy weapons for the damn thing. Or, you know, get it equipped in some fashion so that it's not just a flying hunk of metal. And, you know, you've got to modify it up yourself. I mean, that's kind of a big thing about being a rigger, is getting a vehicle or a drone and really sort of customizing it for what you want it to do. And, you know, I appreciate the player's character concept here, but he could at least just have a little drone that's like a star actor that he has. It does all the work, like it's a mainstay in his plays, or maybe it's one of a camera crew or something like that. It doesn't even have to be a combat drone. It can just be a little dude with a camera on it that he can use to send down vent ducts, that sort of thing. Just to give him something to fucking do. I may be projecting a little bit much, but, you know, whatever. So that's the problem with the sort of rush job ones, and there's always going to be rush job ones. You're not going to have some time to prepare. And frankly, I've been letting him do a lot more with hacking than I should have been letting him do, and we're going to be cutting down on that because the mission that they've just had on Saturday, because it's a defensive mission, all I've had to do is design the... Well, Brittany's gotten colonizing. Good on you, Brittany. All I've had to do is design the compound that they are defending. That's it. And of course, what they're defending it against. But by only having to design that compound, I can go into a lot of detail. And at the moment, I'm recording this last Saturday, so a week behind. I got all of Sunday to do this work. I got, every night along the way. I will get distracted along the way by like Minecraft and shit like that, but I got ages, and I will design this thing from the ground up and, really custom the hell out of it. Make it really detailed. Like, I'm gonna know all about the stuff. I'm gonna basically have a write-up of the thing on my tablet and just use that. Normally I have a write-up, but this will be a comprehensive write-up. Who are you all with? War with Bulgaria, France and Grodno. French are trying to retake Kaffa off Volga, Bulgaria. Is that like one of these? Must be, surely. Interesting that France thought that they could go to war with Volga, Bulgaria, to be honest. I mean, maybe it's one of these alliances that they're involved in, because Kaffa sounds like something in Persia. Whatever. Not going to try and get too caught up in the intricacies. Yep, Korea's going to smash the Oirats. Mongolia, you're good while you lasted. That's what she said. But yeah, so back to Shadowrun, back to the important things, which is apparently not the game that's being played in front of us. A little bit of Portugal there. Let's just do a sweep while I get distracted. A little bit of intertribal warfare going on there. Brandenburg is taking some of the Newfoundland colonies. That's cool, that's fine. No skin off my nose, because I'm not playing. Anyway, so they're being contracted to provide security for this dude's daughter. The twist is that it's not the daughter that they're protecting. The rich dude has hired the guys on behalf of his daughter because his daughter has a pet that she needs protected. See, the rich dude, his daughter, and their security detail are going out of town. Maybe they're going around to Mecca or something like that, or just going across to where Iran is. They're going out of town and they need somebody to look after the daughter's pet leopard. It may be a pet tiger by the time I'm done with it. It's a pet apex predator cat. This is why I referred to that Archer episode with the Jaguar Babu of the episodes, because that's basically what this is. The cat, and this is straight out of a Shadowrun Adventure Ideas book, takes a disliking to one or more of the Shadowrunners and refuses to obey them and basically dicks them around. The rest of them, yeah, it's fine with them, but it basically dicks around a couple of them. And I haven't quite decided who that'll be. I mean, by the time this happens, this episode goes up, it would have already happened. But basically, this cat's going to be a complete asshole to half of the party. And yeah, the reason why they're protecting the pet is that some eco-activists or animal rights guys have made some threats against the daughter because, she's keeping a fucking leopard or a lion or a tiger or, some big cat as a pet, and, they're really not supposed to be pets. But, and it kind of fits in with them, like, it's supposed to be for a UCAS mission where, like, the rich guy is like a mafia dude or a Yakuza guy, Yakuza, whatever, and you know, that's why he doesn't go to the cops. This is just because he's a rich dude in Arabia, and you know, maybe he doesn't want the religious police poking around his compound. Just saying. I'll work that one out in a bit. But yeah, basically he's hiring some mercenaries, the Shadowrunners, to watch his daughter's pet while they're gone, because they can't take it with them. And it is entirely appropriate for some rich dude in Arabia to have like an exotic fuck you pet like this. I mean, they do now, right? There's got to be someone there that has like a tiger as a pet. Probably the Sultan. Anyway, not even sure. No, it's a king. King Abdullah. I think. I'm not sure who the king of the UAE is, but or even if they have a king, but I know King Abdullah is the Saudi king, which is basically what the Arabian Caliphate is. It's Saudi Arabia expanded. So I'm going to have this compound detailed. It's what I've been saying, and the Shadowrunners are going to have to, or have at this point. The intent is for the Shadowrunners to defend the place. Now they're given, excuse me, bit of a yawn coming in there. It's nighttime over here at the moment while I'm recording this, and I got up early because I had a physio appointment for this damn neck. Let's not get distracted though. The Shadowrunners are given like full run of the guest rooms, and you know, the guest room is going to be opulent. Not as opulent as the main house, but opulent. Like, there's going to be gold all over the place, and, you know, ridiculous sort of luxuries like good food and things like that. And it's going to be interesting because the troll has a allergy to gold, which I don't actually think is a thing you can actually have happen to you in the real world, because gold is like one of those materials that just doesn't react to anything like that. Or people don't react to gold. I know people can react to silver, but gold just, I'm not sure that that's actually a thing. But whatever. So there's going to be gold everywhere, and he's going to have to avoid touching it. It's only a minor allergy, but, you know, that sort of thing. And, of course, the rich dude's estate is on the coast. It's actually got its own little peninsula. So one of the other characters' allergies to salt water may come into play, depending. And yes, so they're given full run of the guest quarters, but told to, you know, don't take too many liberties with the main residence, sort of thing. Like, they're guests, and they're allowed to patrol the main residence, but, you know, guys, don't, Oh, they're actually winning against Volga Bulgaria now. Nice. Losing to Sharash. Don't know where that is. But yeah, like, don't fuck with the main premises of the place too much. Patrol it like you're supposed to, but, you know, if anything's out of place, maybe you'll get a visit from, you know, the local enforcer sort of thing. Maybe you'll, really appreciate those kneecaps a lot more once they're gone. That sort of thing. German La Plata is formed. Great Britain is still colonizing a little bit. It's a bit weird, but it's German La Plata. They've got the culture group German, I think. Yeah, so that's why, despite them actually having English ideas. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Bit weird that they still managed to make Newfoundland, though. So yes, they're tasked. They're going to be given the opportunity to set up defensive plans for a compound. It's got walls, that sort of thing. So, you know, they've got to work out exactly how to defend this place, and part of that will be actually scouting the place itself. They might get a brief tour around the place, but it's not going to be comprehensive. And yeah, work out how would you attack this place and how would you defend it. And, you know, basically they're going to be able to sit around for a few hours and talk. I'm really hoping that they don't do what they've been doing in the last couple of sessions where it's okay, we wait until the next story event comes along. Which really shits me off. Because a lot of what I do in design is let people talk. When I'm designing a mission, I say, okay, at this point, they should be trying to work out what to do. It was a big problem when I crashed them in the middle of the Arabian desert. Because what they did wasn't try and figure out a way to get out. Wasn't trying to figure out a way to, supplement or, to provide basic needs for survival, food, water, shelter, and clothing. Had the clothing, no worries. The other three were the issue. They didn't try and do anything except fuck with the space shuttle, or, the spaceship to, or suborbital it was, to work out whose it was. When they'd done that, and they found that out, when they had done that, they literally sat around and said, okay, we wait until somebody else shows up. Nobody did. Nobody showed up. And I hit them all with 6 stun damage for the survival checks in the desert, but they never managed to pass because it was impossible, and that was the point. And they panicked at that point and started running all over the place. Oh, it looks like the Oirat didn't take a province off Volga, Bulgaria, but it got culture flipped by the Mongol patriots. That's cool. Should have looked after it better, Volga, Bulgaria. Yep. Really should have. Yeah, I kind of really want to play like a South American or African country. Maybe not as one that I'll, record, because it'll be a lot of sitting around, but yeah, that's kind of what we're doing right now, isn't it? Sitting around. It's cool. We're already almost at 1600, which is great progress. It's almost 150 years and we're only up to the, 8th episode? 7th? I don't know, 8th. I think it was the 8th. Great progress. Looks like Persia is being attacked by Arabia or vice versa. It's fine. Yeah, so they sat around and got hit with the damage, and I will admit the intent was for them to try and figure out stuff and then realize that there was nothing that they could do as they all began to pass out from the heat stress, and then they were going to be rescued by Bedouins and that sort of thing. Turns out they did eventually get rescued by Bedouins, but they really threw a spanner in the works by running over to one of the nearby highways and jacking a truck. I shouldn't have let them jack a truck, but at that point, if I didn't let them do it, all they would have done is said, we sit on the highway and wait for the next story event. And it was only like 7 o'clock by that point at night. Normally we run until midnight. What am I going to fill 5 hours with if we wait until the next story event? Oh, we pass out, the Bedouins show up, we get rescued, we get nursed back to health, and now we get taken to Abu Dhabi. It's literally the only thing that happened after that. And admittedly, I could have planned it out a bit better, but I did have things that could happen on the highway, and they happened. It wasn't pretty, but it happened. It worked out. But that's what I'm getting at here. Excuse me. What I like to do when I'm designing a session for the players is give them a situation that they will have to think about and talk about and discuss and work something out regarding. 1, because it's player involvement. 2, because then I don't have to think of every little thing that they could possibly do. I can do things on the fly, no problem. But this way I get them to sit around, and for every minute that they're talking about doing something and trying to think up what to do, that's a minute I don't have to be talking. That's a minute I don't have to be planning anything. The only thing I have to do is keep track of what they're saying, so when they come at me at the end of their discussion and say, this is what we do, I can say, okay, and this happens. Simple, right? Real simple. But when they just say, okay, we sit around until something happens. It's like, are you the protagonists in the story or not? Like, if you're the protagonists, why aren't you doing something? It doesn't make sense. Oh, hey, look, Great Britain is occupying Cape. Nice. Good work, guys. You'll actually be able to hold on to that province unless you make it a trade company, which they may do. Good work. Good work. They haven't even taken any of these islands yet. Oh, that's what that island is. South Georgia, and it's a wasteland. So you wouldn't have been able to discover it anyway. Remember in the Millennia in the Making game, we never actually explored that place, because you can't. Well, you probably can if you park like a ship next to it forever, but yeah. Whatever, we didn't. And no one else did, so fuck them. But yeah, that's what I like to do. I like to make my players think. I like to make them discuss and unintentionally give me ideas and things like that. And I like to flow with things as they happen. And yeah, when we're all just like, nah, we just wait until something happens. It's like, well, it's kinda, it ruins the pacing. I mean, if I planned, let's just say I planned out every single thing that would happen for the 6 to 8 hours that we actually play the game. Like, that our sessions actually go for. They're huge sessions. Let's say I planned out everything that would happen in there. What happens when they want to discuss something? What happens when they want to, come up with some sort of solution and they're not sure of what's going on, so they need to think about it for an hour? And, talk amongst themselves and work something out. Suddenly we're an hour overtime, like we're an hour late. And that's not good. That means I will have to cut content or cut it short because, again, the sessions I do are generally self-contained missions, like very modular. There's a mission per session, go for it. And there is an overarching storyline. This one's particularly amusing. I'm quite proud of it, to be honest. I've told a total of 2 people, and one of them thought it was hilarious and the best thing she's ever heard, and the other one said that it hurt his brain to think about it. So pretty good, right? But yeah, so there is an overarching... Oh, shit. Getting all yawny up in this bitch. It looks like Mapada's getting demolished by Kilwa. But yeah, so there's an overarching plotline, but I do like to make my things modular, so that if somebody doesn't turn up to a session, which is a thing that can happen, we have 5 players, sometimes only 4 show up, and it's usually not the same person, it's usually somebody different every week, who doesn't show up, if they don't, then I don't want to have to do that thing where you're like, oh, this person just he's in the background, he's not here, sort of thing. That's stupid. So yeah, modular, mission-based sort of things. Great Britain have taken Trarza, and I think something might have happened down here. Yes, Thuringia is now the Holy Roman Emperor. And maybe there's a new Pope. I don't know what that noise means. So, that's the basic gist of the matter. Oh, Brittany's taken Panama as well. So yes, if you get a situation where you've planned out everything and the players then start talking, you're going to have to cut content or run it into 2 sessions. And running it into 2 sessions is an issue with our group. Cutting content is an issue for me because it means that something doesn't happen which would have made the mission better. And the, opposite side of that, the converse, I think is the right word. is that if they don't want to discuss things, which, in all honesty, I give them situations where they should be discussing things. I mean, who finds himself out in the fucking desert, like a group of 5 people out in the desert on a crashed ship, and says, well, as the protagonist characters of society that don't rely on the government to assist them, or anybody else, and are actually criminals, who sits there and says, well, guess we better wait for someone to come and pick us up? There's no indication that somebody is going to come and pick you up, guys. You're going to die in the desert unless you do something. And then they just sit there and say, well, we wait until this happens. It's aggravating because, you know what, let's discuss it next episode. I'll record it straight after this one because we have hit that half-hour mark. So as usual, like, subscribe, comment if, go comment about what's happening with the AI. Let's pause them. Comment about what's happening in my Shadowrun game. Whatever you want to do. And, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, I have been Sub. You have been yourselves. Later.